So what we will do in the next part of this final session is talk about progressive relaxation. So Jessica, do you want to sit up and we'll try some of the progressive relaxation? Mm-hmm. So in the progressive relaxation, the focus is very different than the autogenic. The progressive relaxation is a series of tightening muscles and letting muscle groups go. So this is a form of relaxation that Jessica could try in other situations that we can guide our clients to try, whether they are on a busy street traveling to work in their vehicles, they're feeling tension in their back and their neck, or maybe they're in that exam situation that they find particularly stress-inducing, and then they're noticing that their palms are sweating, their heart is beating much faster, and they want to have some immediate relief in relaxation. So the principles of the progressive relaxation, which you've seen covered in your e-learning content, have to do with systematically contracting and then letting go of muscle groups. And when you do this, the guidance that you want to provide your client is to have a strong contraction of the muscle and then an immediate release if possible, so that you can contrast that feeling of having tension in your muscle and letting that muscle go. So for instance, if we think of our feet, which we generally do these techniques from the distance and move up our body. So let's just try that. Let's try tightening our muscles by moving our feet towards us. Tight, 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 and then let go. And again, when we let go, what we're trying to do is notice the difference between when we were holding tension in our limb and we allowed the tension to escape. So let's try that again. Just flexing your feet towards you, allowing yourself to feel that, and then just to let it go. And when you're guiding an individual to feel this in their body, it doesn't matter that you have the correct anatomical muscle name for this. It's more important that a client understands that they're contracting their upper leg. You can direct them to try to tense their feet towards them, tense their feet away. So let's just try that. Tense your feet away. Tighten, tighten, notice that, and then just let it go. And again, you want that dramatic difference between having them flexed to just letting them go. So let's try that again. Just out, and then just let it go. And you can actually provide some guidance sheets, such as what we have here, where we simply have, and this is in your e-learning content under progressive relaxation, we have some very simple directions that you can use as a therapist, but you can also leave it with your client. So for instance, the directions around tightening the muscles in the thighs are to press the back of your knees down into the floor if you're laying down, or just down against the couch if you're sitting up. So just press and notice the tension in front of your thigh, the muscles in the front of your thighs here, and now just let go. And again, if you're thinking of moving these muscle groups up, you can instruct to just with your hips, tighten your hips together, tighten, and now relax and let go. And again, you're getting that feeling to move upwards through the body. We can think of the tightening of the muscles of the abdomen, that we're trying to tighten our stomach muscles, make that really hard. Just think about the entire abdominal region when you're doing this. Tighten and let go. And the nice thing about the progressive, as well as being able to do this really in any situation, is that you can think about the area where you typically hold more stress. So let's focus on the back, where a lot of people hold stress. So in this situation of holding a lot of tension into your back, into your shoulders, you can instruct to try to press your back backwards. Press it into the couch there. Just hold it tight, tight into the chair, into the back of the couch. And now just let it go. And again, you're trying to feel that, almost that heaviness that you feel in the autogenic. You're trying to get that heaviness to recognize, what does it feel like when I hold this in my back versus when I let it all go. So let's try that again through your shoulders. Let's bring your shoulders up towards your ears. As high as you can. Really hold it there. And now let it go. And that's one where often we feel sort of immediate relief through the shoulder area. But it might just heighten your awareness that that's where you had some stress. So let's try that again. Just pull those muscles up. Pull your shoulders up around your ears. Notice it, hold it, and then allow it to go. And you can even modulate your tone with a client, like pull it up, hold it, much more strong on your suggestion to contract that muscle group. And then using more of your relaxation language, now let it go. So that feeling that you're also letting it go, you're probably maybe exhaling a breath at the same time. And you can even pair this with some of that deep breathing that we just learned. For your arms, we can think about holding both arms straight out. Stretch as hard as you can. Now just let those arms drop. And notice how your arm might even be quite floppy, like it might be even hard for you to pick it up. You're really just letting it go. And again, we even think back perhaps to autogenic when we were thinking about that heaviness again of letting it go. That's really what we're trying to get in a very practical way, where we can just do this progressive as the need arises. With our hands, we can think about hands and elbows. We can think about bending our elbows and the fingers and trying to tense our biceps. This is our muscle pose, and then we just sort of let it go. And again, we're working on just relaxing those muscles and letting them feel quite heavy, quite floppy, quite loose. In your hands, if you hold tension in your hands, clench your fist. You notice the tension, the back of your hands, the back of your wrists, and now you're going to just let it go. And if this is an area, you might want to do it another time. Just clenching it and letting it go. And when our muscles in our neck and our face and our chin, we can try to tuck our chin in. And we might notice as we're tucking our chin in, the muscles in the back of our neck, the base of our skull. And then we just let it go. And often if we're storing stress in our jaw and in our mouth area, we can do just some mouth tension reduction by, we can press our lips together tightly. We can feel the tension and then relax. So again, don't worry so much about how this looks, but just experience it. So let's try to just clench our jaw, move our lips together, and then just let it go. So that you're feeling tension and then you're letting it go. And so that's very much your guidance. Feel the tension, feel it, let it go. And guiding the difference between what it feels like when that muscle is tensed and what it corresponds to when it feels relaxed. In the forehead area, we can think about wrinkling our forehead together, scrunching everything together, and then letting it go. So let's try that. Yeah. Just closing your eyes tightly, allowing it to go. So as we move through these exercises, we can see that they're quite active exercises compared to the autogenic, where we are encouraging people to be quite still and inactive and heavy. The progressive is allowing you to really tighten, understand what that tight feeling feels like, and then let go. So they can be used in different ways, or they can be complemented to each other. So some clients find that's very helpful to initially do the progressive and then move into some autogenic. So that progressive allows them that sort of immediate release. Now we teach it opposite to that because it's perhaps more challenging to go through all of the principles of the autogenic method. And so if we spend some time with the autogenic and really get to understand how that much deeper, perhaps, state of relaxation affects us, it becomes much easier then to switch to progressive and say, oh, okay, now I can use this progressive in these situations. I've already learned this very deep state of relaxation through the 5 series of the autogenic series that I've done. So you can mix and match this as a therapist or as a client. These modalities work very well with other modalities such as mindfulness training, assertiveness training. There are many different aspects that can be built in. Relaxation is but one way that we can recognize and one way that we can combat the stress feelings that might be in our body.